how's it going? So, this video is a kind of compromise. You see, recently I remade my Project A63 Phantom mask. And a load of you on TikTok wanted to see me make it in a video like this. Unfortunately, when filming it, the footage got corrupted and was unusable. So I lost all that footage, meaning there was no video. So I stopped, had a thought, what can I do instead? Because just explaining how I made it isn't going to be really that much, because it was actually a very simple make. Plus there's the Behind 863 that was uploaded a while back that you could have watched, and if you wanted to make a Phantom mask you probably already have watched. So I stopped, had a thought about how I made my Phantom costume, and I will gloss over how I made this mask. So this is the new mask I made, the one that looks way better, way more like the one in the videos. This is my old one. Side by side, yeah, this one is way better. So before we move on to the costume, I'm just going to give a quick overview on how I made this mask. So I've started off with a black respirator, which I bought from Amazon. I will, if I can, leave a link in the description below. And I took some foil tape, which again, I'll leave a link in the description below to it. And I just put some on the front there. I may have actually shown that in a TikTok, I can't remember exactly. I don't think I showed me actually applying it, but I did show that I put that on as the first thing I did. Actually, second thing I did. First thing I did was I actually moved the red tape that they had around here. You can still see some of the adhesive on it. But yeah, after that I did the Syntec snakes. Firstly, what I did was I took a piece of paper and I drew a circle on it using a stencil, the size I wanted it to be on here. I then opened up an image of the Syntec snakes on my laptop. I sized it to the size I needed it to fit inside the circle, traced it out, coloured it in with a permanent marker. I then covered it in some regular clear tape, making sure there was no air bubbles or anything, just so it's waterproof, so if I ended up wearing this outside and it started to rain, I wouldn't ruin the logo. I then cut it out and just hot glued it on here. I then got some hanging tubes, which again I'll leave a link in the description for the ones I used. The ones I used were a little bit longer than the ones needed for this mask, so I did end up having to cut them down. So if I can find some that are more the size I need them to be, I will put them in the link below instead of the longer ones. So yeah, I then just put some black duct tape along each end. This is after I cut them down to size, so that they would have those black lines they have in the videos, which in the videos they use electrical tape. I was finding it hard to find some black electrical tape in my hometown, and I went to Poundland, Wilco's, every DIY shop I could. All of them were out of stock with black electrical tape. They had other colours, just not black. So I ended up having to use some black duct tape instead. I then hot glued them down onto the filters that the mask come with. However, the hot glue kept failing and it kept falling off, so I ended up just using some zip ties that come with my 3D printer. Zip ties you can probably get from like your local hardware store or like pound/dollar store, wherever you live. Then I fit these tubes over the hanging part and the hanging tubes, and then measured them out to length, cut them, duplicated that, did the same thing here and then duplicated that. I then taped them all together at the bottom and then super glued them down here. And now these all just pressure fit on here. I think I did actually end up putting super glue on them near the end, and that's why it was so hard for me to just pull that off. But yeah, and that's pretty much a quick overview on how I made my Phantom mask. So yeah, let's move on to clothing. So starting at the bottom, footwear. I noticed how the Phantom tends to wear some boots, so I picked up these just cheap ankle boots from Shoe Zone here in the UK. You can get some from Amazon or even like your local shoe shop, or like anywhere that sells clothing will have some boots like this. These were just some cheap boots that worked well, and I actually used these for like Loki and other cosplays like that. But yeah, just some black boots like this. Moving up to leg wear, I use just some plain black jeans, nothing much to say about them, just some plain black jeans. Got these from Primark here in the UK. You most likely already own a pair of plain black jeans, so yeah. Next thing is something most of you might already own as well, and it's just a plain black pullover hoodie. Now it has to be a pullover because if you actually look at the Phantom, he hasn't got a zip down the front, so it'd have to be a pullover hoodie. Now I do believe it's actually just a t-shirt or a jumper he wears, and then he has more of like this style, just priest hood or like monk hood over the top, based on something I saw from the Behind 863 video up images of why I believe that's the case here. But yeah, I just use this plain black hoodie. Most people that do Phantom cosplays just use a plain black hoodie because it's just easier than having to buy that thing and then wearing a t-shirt or something. So yeah, it's just plain black hoodie, simple enough. Next, I'm going to talk about gloves. The gloves the Phantom wears, it alternates sometimes. Sometimes he's wearing clear gloves, sometimes he's wearing regular latex gloves, sometimes he's wearing black latex gloves. But I purchased these gloves for my Phantom. They're just some like black gardening gloves. They work well enough for the Phantom. It's rolled up right now because my Apple Watch. But yeah, when I actually come to upload videos with my Phantom costume though, I'd lost these. I literally only found them out today. So anytime you see me wearing my Phantom cosplay, I'll be wearing just these black leather gloves. So these style of gloves, I think, give it more of like the chemical aesthetic that the Phantom has, even though they're gardening gloves. It just like, I think with the way the palms look, it gives it more of that like chemical aesthetic. As for the leather gloves, that gives it more like the bad guy, like villain aesthetic that the Phantom has, because he's the 863 villain. So now moving up to his coat. So most people I've seen doing Phantom cosplays use just a regular black trench coat or just a black jacket. If you actually pay attention in the videos and look closely at it, it isn't just a trench coat. It isn't just a regular jacket. It is actually a black lab coat. And that is exactly what I purchased, a black lab coat. I think it's like £18 on Amazon or like 20 quid, I don't know. This is the brand of it, right there. I'll try and leave a link for that in the description below, along with anything else I bought online. I'll try and leave a link in the description, but no promises because things are constantly changing and things like that. But moving on, obviously, next thing is his iconic mask. I've already explained about this and I've already mentioned where I got all the pieces from and said I'll leave links for them all in the description. Now for the goggles. Now, they're not going to be lit up right now because I haven't actually got them plugged into anything. But yeah, these are the goggles. I got these from AliExpress, I think for like 25 quid. Like, it comes with a remote so you can change it different colours. And like, this is what they look like when they're not lit up. They're just like some light up steampunk goggles. That's actually what I searched up to find these light up steampunk goggles. Future Jordan here. I'm filming this part now just as a bit of an afterthought. An honourable mention to the Absalate, since though I haven't yet purchased it. So I did 3D print one. If you follow me on TikTok, you'll know about that. This isn't really the best though. So this is only going to be a temporary solution until I can order the actual titanium Absalate, which this is what that looks like from Amazon. Here's the Absalate I plan on purchasing compared to the actual Absalate from the YouTube videos. It's going to cost about £42, so it's going to be quite expensive. But yeah, it's going to be worth it. Because I'm not just going to be using it for cosplays, I'm actually going to be wearing it because I just love the look of the Absalate. Back to past Jordan. You know what? Let's try this costume on. So there we are, we've got the main base clothing on, the hoodie, the jeans and the lab coat. So now I'm just going to put on the mask. So it's going to become hard to hear me from this point, so voiceover Jordan time. I'm just putting on the mask right now. You don't really need to hear what I'm saying here, it's just me saying how you put it on, but you can see that. Closing the curtains now so you can get the full effect of the goggles when they turn on for the first time. Putting on the goggles, so yeah, they just go on over your head. Don't really need to know how to put them on. I'm opening the curtain so I can actually see what I'm doing to put the rest of the costume on, mainly the gloves. I hope to God I don't need to tell you how to put gloves on. So there we have it. My Project 863 Phantom cosplay. If for some reason you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment what you want me to do next. Do you want me to do this for another one of my cosplays? And I might just do it. Other than that though, see ya.